working to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Investigations, special reports, analysis, and breaking news. Premium Times, a leading multimedia news platform, brings to you every minute stories that helps you make informed decisions and hold public officials, individuals, and organizations accountable. We have cartoons, videos, podcasts, and other interesting content for your delight. For timely update on politics, entertainment, sport, and business, visit our website on www.premiumtimesng.com and follow us on all our social media platforms. Don't miss out.
When you light us up again, yeah. To the people, and all the children of the world, if you can see it, it's not that far away. Before you can reach it, you must endure the pain. Real talk, you can touch the sky. Ain't no doubt about it, no. Real talk, you can sit on high. Ain't no doubt about it, no. Real talk, we do it for the youth. Another generation. Yeah, you're strong enough to meet your destination. Nothing is impossible. No one can hold us down. Yeah, we are unstoppable. 'Cause nothing is impossible. No, nothing is impossible. If the door doesn't open, don't wait. Use force to knock it down. Ain't no time for moping.
No, ain't no time for moping at all. I wanted to cue in that particular part of the song. If a door doesn't open, use force to knock it down. That's a song by Jack Hill from 2011? Yeah, okay. No, it can't be 2011, no. It's been 11 years actually since the song was released. So, yeah. So Jack Hill is a Jamaican singer. His name is, his real name is Sikacho Alcock. And yeah, he's from Hanover in Jamaica. He's a reggae musician. And it is on days like this I pull from my reggae archives. A day like this when we join the rest of the world to stand against police brutality. So March 15th is recognized as International Day Against Police Brutality. It is a global day of solidarity against police brutality that is observed annually on March 15th. In 1997, the first observance of the day began because police brutality is a very common thing across the globe. So it's not particular to one sect of people. It's not particular to one continent. It's something that happens all over the world. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on Perspectives this afternoon. My name is Raya. My friends call me Derry. And I have in the studios, Mena. You know, your name sounds like a cartoon character. Have I ever told you that?
No.
They should write a character for you. Mena.
That looks like me.
Mena and her exploits.
That looks like me as well.
And your quirky mind too. It's been nice to know how you know what you do outside work and all the things that you get up to. So for any writer going to, honestly, Mena is an interesting person to come and understudy and just write about her daily activities. So thanks. It's been a minute. Last week we were busy all of last week getting in all the contracts, you know, that kind of thing.
And this week as well. It's kind of spilled over to this week as well.
I like keeping busy is good.
It's good. It's actually good. When the opportunity comes, you jump on it. You know, I just finished Tech Talk now.
Yes.
And there was something my guest, Emmanuel Paul, had to say.
Yeah.
He described Zuckerberg as a shark. That anywhere he smells blood,
he goes for the kill.
He invests and he buys up and he creates and he fills in that gap.
You know, so I was going to, let's just carry on talking about that. I mean, Mark Zuckerberg changed the world, sort of. You know, he wasn't the first person to bring up the idea of social media. He wasn't. No. But you know how they say in the business world, they say you don't have to be the first to do it. No. It's how you do it in your own way that you can get this multiplier effect. Because we're talking of since 2008, and this is 2023. The man is still relevant, and he has found ways to, just like you said, from WhatsApp to Instagram to there's this other one, the Snapchat. So I mean, he's done awesome well for himself. I wish it was something. I wish they teach his skills in our schools. To think like that. But we don't have this kind of conversation in schools about
because that thought process, is the difference. As in, I would want to say you can't teach it, but on God, it should be taught. It should be studied.
It should
what
be.
Little aspect of resilience, of keep going, of people never believed in me, but I believed in myself.
Is how did people come up with this idea? I mean, when we were growing up, we knew of Yahoo and High Five, and we knew of pen pals. We don't have pen pals anymore. Just Facebook. Just check them out on Facebook. You know, so it's not as if we couldn't do it. We can do things like that.
We can, but it's just that resilience to go.
But we do. We are resilient people. Okay, so it's a good place to talk about. Did you see this video training last week? Vusi Tembekosi is not new, but last week he went viral here in Nigeria because of something he said. He said, how come is it that the top 10 people in the medical field in the world, Nigerians? When you're talking of the economy, top 10 people in the world, Nigerians. How come is it that the Nigerian economy is suffering when you have awesome, phenomenal Nigerians doing as in the top head of their fields they're not on the continent, so that how come? And so I was like, oh, these motivational speakers have come again. But no, he's a South African talking about it. We talk about it a lot, that how come we go to other countries and we excel? The Philip Emeagwalis of this world, the Okondre Iwealas of this world. How
breaking
barriers. So what Mike Zuckerberg has is unique. It should be studied. I wish we can teach it because we have the resilience, like you said. All we need is someone to show us just
that you can do this.
Just set us on the right track, and
I don't know if I don't even know how that attitude is learned, because from what I know about Zuckerberg, what I've read, nobody believed in his thing. Nobody saw a future.
His partner what's his name? Not Cuban. I forgot. Is it Brazil? Something. Is it Brazil?
Yeah.
The partner himself sold.
Sold his own side. He
sold out.
People could not see this vision. People could not see this vision. Let me relate this back to I was going to treat on my tech program the computer generated effect on the Avatar movie. Do you know the Avatar movie?
Yes.
The first one came out, and
James Cameron.
And it's James Cameron I'm going to talk about right now.
Yeah.
James Cameron.
You know, he produced Titanic as well.
Yes.
He produced E.T.
Everything he produced, people said it could not be done.
Exactly.
People said, we don't have the cameras for this.
Yes.
We don't have the equipment for this.
Yeah.
They would tell you, Cameron on set builds camera contraptions.
Yeah.
With what he has, he builds contraptions to suit his vision.
He has, because that's where it always starts.
Do you know
from.
he had to wait?
Something.
Do you know he had to wait 10 years?
Yeah.
He just for free. He waited 10 years because he knew that the technology for part 1 of Avatar is not out. It's not ready. In fact, the main technology, it wasn't even the cameras, because he could go out of his way and tweak these cameras and invent new devices. Yeah. You know what wasn't ready? The 3D cinemas.
Yes, because it's a different thing. You can create one camera to produce the thing that you want, but that much for everybody in the world to see what you want them to see. They needed those.
He waited
screens.
10 years for 3D cinemas to be a thing, and even after waiting, before Avatar was released, he did say, "See, this thing, the peak, the madness of it is seeing it on a 3D screen." Yeah. Do you know there were about over 40 million 3D cinemas installed because of this?
Yes, so the world is ready for it, which is why the Black Panther had a smooth glide, because of working on the kind of precedents that James Cameron has set. Yeah. I don't think James Cameron released anything in the same year or in the same decade until this Avatar 2.
Yes.
Until, so even Black Panther, when Black Panther came, people were wondering, why is this movie? That's why they're saying it's overrated. It was about the CGI. Most people didn't get that. There was a storyline, but you needed something to, what's that one? I'll blow it out of this world.
Yeah.
And so it was there. I realized that, okay, there's something, that one, movies have moved. That's not the first CGI movie I saw, actually. Have you seen The Gods of Egypt? I don't know how we're talking about movies.
No.
All right, so let's just put this one in. Gods of Egypt is, something larger than life as well, but I've lost my train of thought.
Okay, I haven't seen that, but I'll check that out.
Oh, yeah, it's actually very, very nice, but not as colorful as the Avatar.
Yeah,
Avatar, what happened is this Sam, wasn't it? I can't even remember the main character. I don't remember
the movie is very long. It's quite long. To know all the details in it, you have to go.
Let's just celebrate the man, which is what you were doing. Yeah. So big ups to James Cameron and the kind of
and
vision.
we live in a society where instant gratification is the norm of the day.
Yes.
You want to send your child to school and you want them to get first from playgroup. You don't even want to see their weaknesses.
Guilty, mommy.
You don't even want to see their weaknesses to even say, let me see my child's weakness. I might sound a bit funny, but I can imagine sending my child to school and for the first 3-4 years they come back home with last position.
Let's just and
I'm going to look at it like, okay, very good. This is not what normally happens. So this is a start for me to find out what you're about. Because clearly you are not on the norm.
All right, if you just tune in, you're listening to the voice of Mena. She's obviously very pro Gen Z. A mother born in the year 1982 will not be thinking like this. I just paid school fees to carry last. No, your great grandfather did not carry last. You therefore cannot carry last. So you are a child of God. You are a sharp-minded child.
That's how they sound.
Exactly. And they tell you,
instead of carrying the child to figure out what can you do? What can we do? What do you love? Why are you, why is this happening to you? Why are you at this point in your life? And are you okay with it?
So you can experiment with one child. Your first child is usually the guinea pig. But I'm sure you won't do the same thing for the rest of the children.
This is not called experimenting.
So this is a non-conformist way of raising a child.
I actually don't want you to see it as it's not experimenting. It's the same thing that will happen at every point, because not every child will get last in class to show that they are not up to it.
Yeah.
In other places in life, they will fumble.
Yes.
And if we don't attend to this fumble, like if we don't look at it like it's a normal thing,
process,
like it's just normal. You don't stand out for failing.
Yeah.
You don't stand out for not succeeding or topping your class or being the best. Or being in the limelight.
My father used to say that to me, actually. My father used to say, Deraya, you might not be the top of your class, but I want you to know something. What you know cannot be taken away from you. Knowledge cannot be taken away from you. Your father can be taken away from you. Your house that you live in can be taken away from you. But what you know,
and that knowledge is this sense.
Yeah.
And that is what Mark Zuckerberg and Cameron have. That people don't believe in them, but they can wait it out.
So that is that waiting it out.
They will wait it out and look at you and still be working on. You see that thing your father says you have, nobody can take it away from you.
Yeah.
In fact, they don't even want to share it with people.
No.
They don't even want to even convince you.
No.
What they will continue to do is to work on
whatever it is
what they have.
Vision, the dream.
The vision. And sometimes in these visions, when you look at it at a certain point, it means nothing.
Yeah.
It's how you hype yourself.
Yeah.
That now paints a different picture to people. You now turn their mind like, hey, like Black. Who loved Black? But fashionistas came out and say the little black
monochrome
dress. Black is this. Black is that.
Yes.
Now Black is
LBD.
just some
hashtag LBD.
Automatically classic color.
Yeah.
Because some people just came up and just hyped the heck out of it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, we just need to do different with the upcoming generation and teach them, value that thing you have.
I say yes to that.
Please, you have to repeat that quote you said your dad said it.
Honestly,
because I want to hear it again.
Okay, so it's funny. There's a man called Onigegewura. I've never met him. He's a lawyer, but he used to write on Facebook. And I think one day he asked, okay, what's the one thing your parents said to you you've never forgotten? And so I put this thing there. I still have that letter from when I was in SS1 in 1997, yes. And my father wrote me that letter. It was a very long, me and my father, we have a very wonderful relationship. Mm-hmm. And so, he said to me, Derayo, everything can be taken away from you. You might not be the top of your class right now. It's like, what you said exactly, that we are scolding our children to say, when I was your age, I was passing, and my father did not come at me like that. My father always said to me, just be the best that you can in this moment that you are. I'm not asking you to be a, what they call it, genius. I'm not asking you. He says, because what you know can never be taken away from you. Knowledge can never be taken away from you. Your house can be taken, and I never forgot that thing.
The clothes off your back can be taken away from you.
Yeah, he said, but what you know, and it's the truth. We're brought up to say knowledge is power, but I think I heard Omaomi, the musician, she said, no, it's not knowledge, it's wisdom that is power. Because again, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom, which we'll get into a conversation some other day. I look forward to having a chat with you about conventional methods of raising children. Honestly, I'm going to put that topic down. It's something we should talk about. What's the point of progress if we cannot apply the knowledge that we know, right? So it's a great place to take that break and focus on the topic of today. See how in this our life, how conversations just come and drag you on an entirely different route. And so we started off the show today by saying that today is IDAPB. That stands for International Day Against Police Brutality. Sad to say that I had to guess. Everybody's shying away from this topic because it's a very volatile one. And what's that word? It seems that there's no win-win on this situation. And so on this International Day Against Police Brutality, we honor the victims of police brutality and violence. We also honor the admirable work that CSOs, civil society organizations, communities, and organizers have put together into trying to create a safer Nigeria for everyone. So, Mona, when was the first time you ever heard of police brutality, or you heard of the situation? Let me describe what police brutality is so that, so police brutality is, is a willful use of excessive force by law enforcement officers. It is one of the most common forms of police violence. So that's the only easiest way to describe it, right? So sometimes, how you experience something before you know there's a name for it. When was the first time you heard of police brutality? Or experienced it? Even if it was from afar, not to you, but someone you know.
The thing is, growing up, obviously we did see a lot of these things, but we're kids. We didn't put the society together. Yeah. We didn't see it as even watching the news. A lot of us didn't even know what was going on or what it's about.
We were isolated to just our streets or our family friends.
Even if you get the gist more. And another thing again, I'll just add to that, which is part of what we were earlier saying, is that a lot of parents would not talk to their children like they were normal human beings. Yeah. They would sideline them like this one does not even understand. But do you know your 2-year-old? You can gist them what's happening on the television. Absolutely. By the time that 2-year-old is 4 years old, it's two of you that will be talking what is on it, because it takes time to understand something. So you start young. So a lot of us were sidelined. The people were not.
What does this one know?
Smiley? What does this one know?
They shut you down.
I had a lot of my information from eavesdropping and from my dad just letting me be in his space. Like whether he had his friends, his political visitors, that still surprised me till now. Provided he was home having a meeting, it was home space, and if we just barge in or something, I've remembered him, having meetings with important people, and I'll just walk in and he'll be like, nothing. Yeah, it'll be normal. I'll get to just walk around, greet. That's where my eavesdrop will happen small, and then I'll go. So as a result of that, I actually gathered a lot of information. And even afterwards, when I don't understand some things, I would ask him. Yeah. And even when he couldn't explain in big words for me, he would dumb it down for me. Yeah. So I was getting a bit of what was going on and everything. Yeah. So, but this police brutality issue or the police behavior or the police not acting right. Yes. Personally, I saw it as a grown person, really. So it starts from the stop checks. Yeah. Where they stop you. Where they stop you on the roads.
Stop and search. Stop and search.
Stop and inquire.
Checkpoint.
That's where the whole thing started from. Because honestly, if we were just walking on the road doing our thing, the only times we would encounter police is when we need to run to the police station to report something, or run to the nearest police for support or for protection.
When the crime has already happened or the incident has already happened, they're never usually on the scene of things.
Even afterwards, nothing. Almost nothing. I would tell a story. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not on the presenter side of the table today, and I'm on the commentator side, because I have a story of a boat guy that picked me up, and I've been wanting to share this story, but I've not had any time to. He picked me up, and his car was bad. He told me immediately, "Oh, madam," first of all, he was one of the few ones that picked me up and accepted to go on a card trip without any complaint, without questions, professionally. Then once I got in, he told me, "My conditioning is not working, is it okay?" I said, "It's okay. Oh, you even came to pick me on top card, no problem. Thank you for letting me know." Okay. Then I now said, because I tell them, I don't want to score you low for nothing. I don't want to, if I can advise you. So I asked him, "Why is your air conditioning not working now? Fix it. The weather is hot." He said, I got into I was robbed. I was robbed. Even this phone I'm using now, next day saying his children's school fees, he doesn't have anything. At first, the first thing I thought about him was, wow, you were robbed, you're looking for money, but you're not one of those people that are hammering, it must be a cash trip. It must be, I'm not carrying you. You carried me, on top, you're going to receive this money next week, but you're still here, the one looking for money up and down. But anyways, he got into his story and he said how he was robbed. Then he was robbed, and also with cash. And I asked, in this cash, this actually brought two scenarios together. In this cash responsibility, what were you holding cash for? He said, "Auntie, you don't know what's going on. All of us that started getting cash, we never returned it back to the banks." And I said, that's very true, actually. That's true. This whole thing that wanted people to put money in the banks now caused people to hold on to whatever money they had. And guess what? My guy was holding on to money and got robbed of maybe an entire week's worth of money. Plus his phone that enables him do that business. Oh dear. What did he tell me next? He went to the police. Okay, went to the police. His cell phone is still on, so he was tracking it. So he was like, "Please, let's go. I'll carry you guys in my car. Let's go before they turn off this phone." They sat there and they were like, "We need fuel." They've gone to buy the fuel. Unless you would like to pay for black markets.
Why he just offered to carry you in his own car?
Hold on. Unless you pay for black markets. And so that means they don't even have fuel yet. They would have to go and now buy before you now start chasing this person. Okay, the guy was still there. He told me how he went on his knees. He told me how he started crying. Then guess what? An hour later, they were like, "Okay, let's go." And he was like, "They've turned off the phone. I can't track it anymore." They now told him, "We have our own tracker. You pay a certain amount and then we would..." And then he just left there in tears.
How dare they?
He left there. I was going to cry. My God. Yeah. He left there in tears. He said, "A full-grown man like me, I was on my knees." And I can relate, because I have been in situations in Nigeria where not the police, just general people, civil servants. I have begged for this work to get done. Please, I need it urgently. Even people offering services, and they are so lax.
So it's a situation of our mindsets and our attitude to things in this country. We can get it right when it's convenient, but we will choose not to do it, and we choose selfishness over humanity. Because if the police had a human face, as soon as that man got there, that's the first thing. They should have just swung into action.
Swung into action is the key word. The man was even proactive already. Yeah. And this takes us back to... He had done half of the job. This takes us back to where we say how Nigerians progress elsewhere. Yeah. Because we are ready. Yeah. We are ready, but the institutions are the odds against us.
Yesterday I and HOD, Mr. Lawrence, were having a chat. I can't remember what led to the conversation as to why we're like, we're talking about how Nigerians are not a revolting country. Is it what they call
yes.
We don't burn things down at the drop of the hat. Yes. We are not quick to say we are going to take the revolution to the streets. We often threaten strike action. You know why? So I described to him, I said, I don't even know where that thought came from. But it's because, like that man, we are a government unto ourselves. First of all, we buy our lights. We take care of ourselves. We pay for everything. We tar our own roads. We ensure that the drainages are working properly. You understand? And so we're invested so much in our daily living here, we're not quick to burn the country down. And so we're not going to do that, because the government will turn, like the police say, they will turn a blind eye, or they would give you every excuse known to man to not do anything that they are supposed to do. I feel sorry for this young man. It's really sad. But it's the same tale of woe. And this is a case of, he even went to report in the police station, right? What of the ones where, of course, we heard of NSAS? It's been 2 years since NSAS. Nothing has changed. In some parts of Nigeria, NSAS, what they call them, Special Anti-Robbery Squad, they're still active. They still harass young men, albeit maybe not as much as before.
Yes, because I was going to ask that question.
You're the tech
not
person.
As much as before, I have to admit.
Maybe there's been some influx, or I think they now understand that there's a thing called social media. Because
yes, I have to admit it.
And so they understand that, not everybody holding a laptop is a criminal, and not everybody that works from home. Because COVID came about that. You remember it was COVID, and
they know.
Okay, but
they know not everybody. EFCC enters homes and tracks laptops. Not people on the road.
True, that's true.
They know.
So how? When? Okay, so I think.
So what's scaring them now is that the people with the laptops and the phones will document us.
The mobile phones. Everybody now records.
They will document us.
Because so in all honesty, now apart from number one, there is an incident, the police do not have the they don't have the facilities, they don't have the resources, is the word, to go after criminals. When there's an emergency.
That's what they claim.
So, but what about their training? Don't they get added? Because these are some of the questions I'm going to ask our guests later on. We don't have, how come they don't have the human face? Why is there no human face to the Nigerian police force? I read somewhere while I was preparing for the show today that's why it is called the Nigerian police force, not the police service or not the police department like they do in other countries.
Ooh.
Because they're a colonial setup. That by now the name should have been revised to make sure because Nigerian police, they've lost rep.
The name will not change anything.
Oh yes, so
if we were good people,
yes,
maybe the definition of force it will change in the dictionary itself.
We make excuses.
That's how human beings change things.
True.
You will see the Nigerian police is so good that the term force is now reflected as a good thing.
But you see that again, only when they have good standing with the citizens. They don't have good standing anywhere. So this is a great place. We have to go on this commercial break. But I like that we have come up with the problems, and maybe we can help with a few suggestions. While we're talking about it here. Just stay with us. We'll be right back after this break.
Yeah, you're strong enough to meet your destination.
93.7 Citizen FM.
Let's talk about it on our favorite radio station.
We're more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
This call to prayer is sponsored by the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول حي على الصلاة حي على حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح لا إله إلا الله
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. This is to inform the general public that the holy month of Ramadan, the month of impactful rewards, and the month of blessings is here again. Therefore, we beseech Muslim faithfuls to sponsor our Ramadan programs such as Call to Prayers, Tafsir Quran, Qira'atul Quran, Ramadan Talks, Women of Jannah, Paradise, specially designed for the Muslimah, Children's Program for our young upcoming Ustaz, Dawn Program, Sahur Special, live on Citizen FM, and many more. Allah says, who will loan Allah a beautiful loan on earth, and Allah will build a house for him or her in Jannah. Talk to us today. Please call 0806 397 7823, 0812 0043990, or 0817 3964218. Let's partner to make it a Ramadan to remember.
Citizen FM Abuja.
We teach girls shave, close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
No one can hold us down. We are unstoppable.
Jack Hill has no bad songs. I dare say that over and over again. Welcome back. You're tuning in and listening to Perspectives here on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Today we're talking about International Day Against Police Brutality, which is today, March 15th. It has been celebrated since 1997. We did say that police brutality is not unique to Nigeria alone. Canada, the US. Of course, we all remember George Floyd from May 2020. Yeah, you remember how there was what they call it, institutional racism in the US against black people. We see it in the movies. There's this movie I will never forget. It is Naomi Harris and Tyrese. The movie is Blue and Black, or Black and Blue.
Black and Blue.
I till date I still skip. I can't watch it. So in some parts of the world more than others, police brutality is just off the cake. I mean, we saw how the man was leaning on George Floyd's neck, and he could say, I could. So if the cameras, we've been saying this for a long time, that there's nothing new in the world really. It's the mobile phones that are new. As it's happening here in Nigeria, it's happening in America, it's happening in Canada. A few years ago, I stumbled on solutions journalism, and they had emphasized on how do you report a story and make it seem that you're not being paid to write that story, you're doing your job. And so the idea is to look for the solution to the problem, not reporting it as the police has done something. Okay, how can we help? How can we report this such that it's a community effort? But sadly, when it came to police brutality, there's no other way to report it than to report it as it is. We watch American movies, so we're having
I want to make a comparison.
That's why I want to lean in that. Right. I want to say behind the counter. While we're on the break, we're having this conversation about why is it that the police in the Western world, which are people thriving when they get there, why is it that we go there and we see a policeman and we do the right thing, right? We even greet them, officer, good afternoon. Here, it's not like we don't greet them. Last week we mentioned it, that there's some psychological way when you get to a checkpoint that you see a police officer and you go first, you say, officer, anything for the boys, that calms them down and you have a proper conversation. But there's a bad side to that. It doesn't matter whether, so you were talking about how come they're better or put together. So
well put together. Even this America that we're talking about. Yeah. Did you hear the Mexican president said Mexico is safer than America?
How dare he say that with all the bodies?
You can't say that. He can say that.
With all the bodies that
he can say
with
that.
The drug cartels.
He can. Did you see the message the drug cartel sent back? The drug cartel handed over the people that were guilty, tied them up, placed them somewhere with a letter of apology and explaining their stand that they don't do things like this.
But they do drugs.
They don't do things like this. Like they are in a business.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not defending them.
I absolutely understand.
They are in a business. People know that before now, cartels used to be very, very dangerous. But the world is growing.
Yeah.
People are seeing there is no one way to skin a cow again.
Yeah.
We can sell our drugs like pharmaceuticals, like you know, like people like
not in the
people
streets
that
and
sell
bring
chemicals.
children's-
Yeah, we can sell our drugs and not have to kill people.
Yes.
We can sell it, yeah. We can sell it. We don't have to set up structures that kill people.
Yeah.
So that is why. So Mexico has actually grown from that.
Really? Okay, I have to look it up. Because a few days ago, there was 408 bodies discovered in mass graves. What's this Sicario?
Yeah, that was their old. That was
my goodness.
That was Mexico.
So if Mexico is saying it is safer than the US, and I think they're referring to this what they call this child shooting.
But the United States is by far bigger than Mexico. That's why I said the president. Yeah, if you're comparing the numbers, you will find out that the numbers in America is higher because their numbers are larger.
Yeah.
But Mexico is a tourist center. They have so much tourism. Check it out.
Yeah, that's one of the things that
so they're confident in their tourism. They've actually tried, but like we said, police brutality is everywhere. Let me get to America now. America, you're allowed to buy a gun.
That's their biggest problem.
The steps to which you can buy a gun, it's not scrutinized.
No.
So imagine, I'm not defending their police system. I am not at all in any way.
Yeah.
But we look at trends.
Yeah.
We look at these police people too are human beings. Even coming back to Nigeria, they are human beings.
Yeah.
These people are scared for their lives too.
They actually
want to go home to their family.
Exactly. They take an oath to say that they would defend every individual citizen of that country from crime, or they put their lives on the line to ensure that we have a safe neighborhood, we have a safe community.
Yeah.
So every time they go out the door, they're not sure they're coming back home. That's what you're doing. Yeah.
In fact, that means most of them are not even following the oath they take.
Okay.
But a good number are. A good number of law enforcement lay down their lives every day. Like things happen to them because they are in the line of duty.
Yes.
But I'm talking from the human perspective, that human nature.
Yeah.
Whether you sworn oath or not, the self-perseverance.
So that's the difference between, we started with the West, right?
Yeah.
So you were talking about a scene where on Oxford Street in the UK that the police are not even doing anything. All they're doing is ensuring public safety.
Yeah.
They're not fighting crime, so to say. They're not chasing after criminals or robbers.
No.
And
so they have been strategically placed in that position. And also the police in the UK don't carry guns.
Yeah, that one
they
is
carry batons. They are trained with their batons and their shields.
Yeah.
And then the special arm of the police that carry guns are there.
Yes.
When you call those people, their response time is not beans too.
Yeah.
Can you see? So they don't have their regular police people carrying guns, but the people that carry the guns are on standby.
You are going extreme. we understand that there are different levels of training for them. We have the first response officers who you are the ones you see on the streets.
Yeah.
We have our people on the streets as well.
Yeah.
Imagine we have a party and we decide to shut down the streets in Abuja here.
Yeah.
And for some reason we are passed out drunk on the couch today. Do you think the Nigerian police will carry you to the cell and say, okay, just for you to sleep it off?
Oh my dear, thank you for bringing that up, because I don't even want to guess into what I'm going to imagine will happen to you.
Yeah.
If you're caught by the Nigerian police in any situation in the middle of the night.
You remember the 100 girls here in Abuja? The 100 girls that were taken to the police station and they were raped.
Yeah.
I don't know what ever became of that case. So we all followed the case, but of course, as usual, it died out. Nobody was held accountable. That's the word. It fizzled out. We've heard of the story of how thousands of professional armed robbers during the administration of one person in this Nigeria, and thugs were recruited into the Nigeria police force. And so when it was brought to the notice of this former president, he said, weed them out. But how do you weed the people out when you don't even have a database that can say, okay, how did someone even recruit them and say you're taking them off of the streets and put them into force? You did not rehabilitate them. There is no
questions we can't answer.
You understand? And so nothing was done.
We can't answer.
2 years ago, what they call them, NSAS, SARS was disbanded and renamed. Remember, you were asking about names.
SWAT.
We were talking about names. That how does a name change affect it? They changed to SWAT. It's still the same modus operandi. You
see this example you brought up, that you're abroad. There's a party organized somewhere and the street is being closed down so that party goers feel safe. you know, because they know there are people, when it comes to work, they are working.
Yeah.
Whoever you are, on Monday to whenever day you work, they work.
Yeah.
When it comes to weekend, they play hard. They play as hard as they work, these developed countries. So I schooled in the University of Northampton, in the small town of Northampton, just 1 hour away from London. I realized that they closed down the club streets. So cars are not accessible on that street. The only car you see on that street, the police vans and the ambulance.
So during the weekends, it's party.
Nights.
You have to hold that up. You'll tell me more about it because it's time for the news.
Okay.
So stay with us if you have any comments. We're talking, today's International Day Against Police Brutality. We're looking forward to your messages. 0818-2222 206 0818-2222 205. We'll be right back after this break.
This is 93.7 Citizen FM, Abuja.
The time is 1 o'clock.
Time for news on the hour.
Good afternoon and thanks for staying with us here on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Here's the news on the hour. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has scheduled the next Monetary Policy Committee meeting between Monday and Tuesday next week. In a Tuesday notice shared on Twitter, the Apex Bank said the 290th meeting will be held at the CBN headquarters in Abuja. The Monetary Policy Committee is the highest policy-making committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria, with the mandate including to review economic and financial conditions in the economy and determine appropriate stances of policy in the short to medium term. It is also empowered to review regularly the CBN monetary policy framework and adopt changes when necessary. The State High Court sitting in Owerri, the Imo State capital, has sentenced the former Commissioner for Transport under the Rochas-Okorocha administration, Laz Okorafor-Anyanwu, to 3 years imprisonment, having been found guilty of a 3-count charge bordering on fraud, looting public funds and stealing. Delivering the judgments in court, the presiding judge, Justice K.A. Lewanya, says Okorafor-Anyanwu was found guilty of diverting 180 million naira of state funds into a private company account where he's a major shareholder and sole signatory when he was superintendent, and doubled as Commissioner for Transport and Chairman Interim Committee of the Imo State Transport Company, which is against Section 12 and 19 of the ICPC Act 2020. Nearly 200 people are now confirmed dead in Malawi after the devastating tropical cyclone Freddy ripped through southern Africa for the second time in a month. As the rain continues to fall and overwhelmed rescue workers struggle to find both the dead and survivors in the mud. Thus, the death toll is expected to rise. There has been extensive damage to infrastructure and homes. Power and communications are still down in many affected areas, and an estimated 19,000 people have been displaced by the heavy rains that triggered floods and mudslides. The United Nations said the lack of power and communications is hindering aid operations, and with most of affected regions still inaccessible, the full extent of the damage remains unknown. Humanitarian medical care organization Médecins Sans Frontières has warned that the region's hospital is overwhelmed by the influx of injured people. It fears that the number of cholera cases will increase in the country, which is already struggling with the deadliest infectious disease it has ever known. And that's the news on the hour here on Citizen FM 93.7. It's back on Perspectives. Good afternoon.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital. Our station seeks to broadcast a broad mix of culture and views with priority given to development programming to enable residents share ideas and opinions, music and drama. At Citizen FM, we believe in progressive talk and solution-driven conversation. Our aim is to build a united Nigeria by bringing people of diverse culture together through communication. Enjoy listening to 93.7 Citizen FM. We are more than just a radio station. We are a part of your life.
We teach girls shave. Close your legs, cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman, I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about the side of the table that is empty and that women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it. And how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
All right, it's 6 minutes gone past 1 p.m. You are tuning in and listening to Perspectives. Thanks for staying with us. Welcome back. I have Mena in the studio this afternoon.
Talking about this topic.
Very serious topic.
Doesn't put a smile on our face at all.
Let us state it here that we did try. We reached out to the police, what they call the personnel, to appear on the show today, but everybody's sort of staring away, maybe because it's political season and nobody wants to be held accountable or held, or, you know, not held accountable, but nobody wants to be quoted, so to say. But it would have been nice. So this is the human face we're talking about. I like what Lagos State has done with the police force. I mean, if I would have been able to actually get someone to come and have a sit down with us here. And also in Kwara, CSP Ajayi Okasami, when I was in Kwara then, at the drop of a hat, if you say, oh, sir, even if it's a phone call, which is what we're going to do earlier on, we didn't even say, okay, come into the studio, just have a chat with us on the phone. So the Nigerian police force is a mix, where you have extremely fantastic people at their jobs, and then you have the people that, okay, you cannot have this conversation, you know. So so it's reflective of the big picture we call Nigeria.
And the thing is that the police force, and something else I like about the police force as well is when I see the police controlling traffic. There are these ones in Wuse too that I love so much.
But they are traffic wardens. Are they police people?
They are traffic wardens, and they are police people as well. There are some police people that step up to do that. You know, there's this place that there's in Wuse too. You find them in a couple of spots when it gets very hot. You see, they take over, and I love it. It helps. That's something that is contributing to the citizens' lives. Like I was saying, on Oxford Street, which is a very big shopping street in the United Kingdom, you have police like positioned there to direct you if a kid goes missing, because those are some things that easily happen. People get lost. People can't recognize where they are. People want directions, you know, to go from somebody that is safe, not asking a total stranger. Do you understand? Because they know, you see us, we are police. So once you see us, you know that we are here for anything you need to help.
Did you see
you don't even know what they are there for.
You just said something. You just see the uniform. You see a man on the uniform and you recognize this person.
I can approach you. For whatever I need. Even if I want water, I can approach you. And you will find out how to get me anything I want.
But not the Nigerian police. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not, like we said, it doesn't mean that they're not good people.
Good ones.
I wish their training is the basic ABCs of what is the first thing you should do as a police officer to offer what's that word, help. So don't tell them to come and write statements. Don't ask people that you came to the police station to report an incident. They say, why are you dressed like this?
Money. Why are you dressed like this? You want money. What did you do?
So we have a call.
Okay, great. I have a message here as well.
Okay, so hello, good afternoon. Hello? Please go on, we can hear you. Okay, please do call us back if you can.
Yeah, I have a message.
Okay,
that
so
says
please go
many
on.
of these Many Nigerians aren't given adequate training.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to conduct themselves in professional environments. And this is not just the police.
That's what I say. So it's reflective of. So when I say the basics, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, let me give a small example. I mean, Fisayo Shoyombo is a journalist, a renowned journalist in Nigeria, and he posted about the LP candidate for Lagos State. So it was just one line that caught my eye in the statement. He said, since Fashola, the current minister of power, that he has not met a governor in Nigeria who is absolutely brilliant, and it shows in their work. Brilliant and not elitist, but down in the trenches with the people, and is still delivering on the mandate, until he met this young man from Labour Party now, who is absolutely brilliant. He said maybe that's the one thing that is actually missing in our leadership: brilliance. That one thing can change. You know, if you have a brilliant leader, definitely he'll know how to serve you. He'll know where the problem is. Strategic. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Okay, my name is Patrick.
Patrick, it's been a minute. Welcome back to Nigeria. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. I just came back from the UK.
Oh my goodness.
Since that's where I mean.
Thank God you came back. Thank God you came back to come and help us in Nigeria.
I thought you would stay back and join so that you can report. You can be a reporter from the UK at the coronation of King Charles now.
So
what's our business with King Charles? We need you here to contribute. Your contributions are.
Please, people should not believe I am in Nigeria.
Go on, Patrick. Go on and make your.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
It's me that is always making an example of UK.
That's all.
So I say make I form say I never.
Yusuf, Jare. Please go on.
Thank you. There is when Mena was talking, there is something she said when somebody was robbed.
Yeah.
Went to the police station to go and report, and how they made life a hell for him.
Yes.
That is true. But first of all, let's look at the police station first.
Yeah.
The way our own police station is set up.
Yes.
If you go before when I know, before I don't know about now.
Yeah.
But back then, I know that a DPO is expected to be the one who will fuel the vehicle of the police. Who is expected to be the one who will pay for basic things.
From what funding?
The police are from his own pocket.
Can you imagine that?
From his own pocket. From his own pocket. So I don't know about now.
Yeah.
So that is number one. So when you see policemen reacting that way, you first of all check out the system that they are operating on.
Yeah.
Like the way that man came with an emergency.
Yeah.
If at all everything put in place, they will say, okay, come, let's go.
Yeah, the swing.
But because they know that but because they know that things are not put in place, they need to make things available, and they will just have to keep twisting that man around. Even though you say, come, follow me, I will take you in my car, they will not.
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah. Because if they follow you in your own car and another person that does not have car come, what would they do?
True.
Good. Very good. So you see the way it is, I think it's a complicated issue.
Quite.
So I understand how that man will be betrayed, but you see most of this, I'm not speaking for any police officer. Meanwhile, let me say it, my late father was a police officer.
Wow.
So I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you see the system betrayed this policeman.
Yeah.
The system. I remember when my late dad died and we were processing his benefit. There was, when we get to the police headquarters then in Mena, they say we should go and bring his first appointment letter.
Appointment letter?
For Christ's sake.
How?
His first appointment letter from Sokoto. Because my dad police office police was from Sokoto.
My goodness.
So his first, where do you people expect me to go and get this?
Isn't it documented? Don't they have all the data? You understand?
That is number one question I asked.
Rayo is asking me. back then.
That is the number one question
when
I
they are
asked
still
them.
using paper now.
My God.
What were they using back then? Same papers.
Oh my goodness.
So I asked them, you expect me to go and get these papers, the first appointment letter, where do you expect me to get it from? So I search and search and search and search. I did not see any paper like that.
How can you?
So I have to go and meet them back. Now they now made an opening for me that you can get it. You can get it from this Force Quarter in Mena.
The letter.
Then I say, So
why did they not
yes,
make you go on a merry-go-round?
I can pay for it.
Oh, you can pay for it.
Pay for it. Yes, I will buy it.
Can you imagine?
I will buy it. So I have no option than to buy it.
Oh,
so you see the system.
You bought a fake letter. That's the problem. What's killing me is that the letter was fake. You bought a fake letter to do a real thing, to process something that is legal.
What did they even need the letter for? You understand?
You see,
what did they need the letter for?
That is the system. Yeah, that's the system he's talking about.
Even the partners that are in it.
Exactly.
That's what
so you don't expect the partners to give you their best.
No.
So that's why sometimes if I see Nigerians complaining about Nigeria police force, I just laugh. Do you know how these men fare? These people that are working with Nigeria police, do you know how they take care of them?
True.
My father did not live in police barrack.
No.
The reason why he did not live in police barrack was because the police barrack then was like an IDP camp. The roof, the houses were damaged.
Oh no!
You see, policemen live in that kind of environment.
No.
So we have to live with people.
Yeah.
So
accommodation, poor welfare.
You said what?
I said poor accommodation, poor welfare. So how do we expect people who live in that kind of environment to come out daily, every day, and give their best?
It is not possible.
It's not possible.
It is not possible.
It's not possible.
Unless people have a leader who will put it as a point of
exactly to fix the police system.
To fix the system.
Yeah.
To make these service personals live better.
Yes.
That is when you will get the best of police.
Absolutely.
So for now, what we see is what we get. So every Nigerian, we just have to push for complete overhaul of this police system.
That's the word.
Because if they fix
thank you so much, Patrick.
Yeah, if they fix that institution, they are not just gonna let anybody into it and to spoil it.
Yes.
So the personnel as well involved will be either changed, revamped, or rehabilitated to the best. Because you've already made sure that with whatever money you have made this institution the best. What's left is the manpower that will sustain it to be the best. So I actually do agree. And talking from the point where you said
solutions,
yes. A lot of people do report these police issues from police like this, police like that, police like this, police like that. But I think we should shed a lot of light on how the systems put in place for the workforce of the police is extremely poor. Is one of the worst in the country.
So he mentioned accommodation. We've talked about remuneration, as in of when you have served your 30 years in the Nigeria Police Force, and then you still have to come and buy your what they call that letter of employment for. So you're even in death, you are still not resting because your family are not going to be well cared for.
You protected the people's entire family.
Exactly, you put your own life on the line. Now, so there's accommodation, pitiable salary structure of how much are the Nigerian police?
Do you know something? Do you know we don't even need to pay them a lot.
Yeah,
when we revamp all the institutions and our hospitals are top notch, our even down to supermarkets where police can present their ID cards and get a massive discount.
Yeah.
What are you saying? But
it used to be like that. Transport system back in the days. I'm serious. In Lagos, then when you take a bus and a policeman comes on that bus, he doesn't pay. But all of that is nice.
But you also know that that one thing is not just making the transport free for them. No,
it has to
be a whole
package.
A whole package that comes together, palliatives, cushion this, cushion that here, then you give them whatever money pays you can afford. When the man does not have to fork out money for children's school fees for this, and once you make the institutions wonderful, the policeman's child is going to the best school without paying a dime.
Is it that? It's like, they would have come full cycle.
We would
in the
have.
sense that people will want to join the police force.
Do you know, I feel like the police is in the core center of why this whole country needs to change.
Yes. Unemployment. I mean, what is the basic, what is the basic training that you need to be a police officer? We only focus on them fighting crime and saying holding gun. But there are so many aspects of policing that we don't take, which is what you understand?
Yeah.
And so these are, so paying them, like you said, let's even just finish on that. Paying them, like you said, you don't have to pay them heavy. You'll be paid based on your educational qualification and your experience. As you rise through the ranks.
Everybody would have access to the same amenities.
Exactly. And so as the higher or the further you go in that career,
your money will increase. But for the basic things, just being a police officer, you have access to these things.
Honestly. So I wish it would be the on the forefront of the agenda. But it feels like there's a cabal.
I feel like is reforming the police system that will give us this full circle.
Break.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm getting this ginger because of what we just described.
Honestly, I hope so. And I hope it spills also not just into the police, but it goes into the Nigerian army, it goes to the Navy.
Yeah, everybody.
It goes all so
that's why I said I feel like the police is at the center, because we have focused on rehabilitating them so much. We have focused on complaining about them so much. They affect such parts of our lives that is so important.
Yeah.
So I feel like they may be a very big reason why things would change.
If we put them,
if we continue, and also continue it in a progressive way, not in a way that we shut them down, we criticize them completely.
We just sideline them. Nobody's even talking about. In fact, when they talk about security during elections, nobody is saying, the police, they're not there. They say, police people are just there to ensure that their presence will ensure peace. But people don't take them seriously.
No, they didn't have weapons, so things happened. Things happen, and I think this not taking them seriously is only coming from one place, which is what you said earlier about how we don't even know the basis of recruitment.
You understand? So people join. It's like people join.
That's why people don't take them
because
seriously
they want a means of livelihood.
Yeah.
How do people join the police force? They join the police force just a means of livelihood too.
How?
Not because they are interested or passionate about taking care of their community. It's usually when we choose career paths, that's how we start.
You have to,
You're interested in something. When I watch a movie, it's like, I want to join the police because my father.
That's
was
the only way you excel.
It's rare you hear Nigerians whose fathers or mothers were in the police force who say, my father was a proud police officer, because it's that's another thing Hollywood sells to you. It's another thing that the British sell to you as well.
The Americans, that's what they are selling.
Yeah, that's what they sell to you.
Dignity,
my father,
labor.
My father gave 30 years to the police force.
Dignity, labor.
Son, I'm going to take over. I've not heard any and we've talked about this generational thing in Nigeria again, that my father did this, I would like to continue some of the good work that my father did. You never hear. You only hear of commissioners of police. Then you hear of what's the highest ranking police officer. That's it.
Yeah.
And so when you become a commissioner, you've made it big in Nigeria. Everybody's just targeting. Let me just grow through the ranks and become a commissioner of police so that I can finally arrive. You understand? So. Well, we are going to wrap up the show with what you said. That
and you also suggested that it needs to spread across board to every security agency.
Exactly. Make it. Let us have a sense of pride in our security apparatus.
But funny enough, the police are the least people doing well. The army are doing better. The DSS are doing better. The NSCDC are doing better.
The NSCDC was cut out of where? It was easy to strike. They're just standing on their own.
They're civil security outfits.
Yes. So they took time to draw up the laws and draw up whatever it is that they needed to draw up, so that they have something to to guide their activities. So they're neatly dressed. Have you observed?
They're well paid. Let's just start with how they are paid. Honestly, I don't know why. Why is there a discrepancy in the pay? So even if the police don't want to dress so, why is now there a huge gap in the pay?
So maybe it's time to retire some
and
people,
also a gap in the work in the job
ethics,
description.
Yes,
in the duties they carry out. Do you understand? So
we have that problem across board in Nigeria.
Yeah, the police are
roles.
still the least taken care of, however we look at it.
So,
and
but
sad.
so let's fix the Nigeria police. It will stop police brutality. Let's fix not just in mouth, but fix from their mind, their mindset. Let's start from there.
I wish they would be. There was one thing I just wish they would be, no matter what they do, even if they want to carry guns and wear them anyhow and whatever they want to do with them. I just wish they would just be nice and pleasant.
So it's a training.
Yeah.
I say good morning to them every morning.
I don't even know if it's some sort of training. I think it's something you tell yourself. You know, they're too old for people to come and tell them be nice. So I feel like it's something you tell yourself that let me just be nice to these people till I get to the person that is not worth my niceness. Okay, so then I can flex my authority. We all want to flex our authority sometimes, but wait for the bad guys. Wait for the bad guys to flex your authority on, and the rest of us be nice to us. It seems like the people that are nice and law abiding are the ones that get the short end of the stick because you have their time. You are there listening to them, maybe apologizing, answering, and then they just shout on you, treat you. But the people that rough them, I feel like they just let them go. They just
and now first. So once again, we say on this International Day Against Police Brutality, we honor the victims of police brutality and violence. We honor the admirable work that people across Nigeria, CSOs, who keep fighting against fighting for a better and a safer Nigeria. We commend your work today, and we pray and hope that having all these conversations is to set us on the right track. Let's hope that, like we said, that if we fix the police force, we'll come full cycle and say, okay, we've done something good that we can build on. And just maybe it's reflective of the larger society. And just maybe if we fix our education system, it will reflect.
Everything has to join because their children need to go to school. They need to be confident that I'm not going to pay exorbitant school fees. Do you understand? So everything together. And just want to send a special shout out to the police people that are actually super nice, who actually help people out. I've been on the road before around my street and I was walking and a police van stopped and said, hop in. And I was like, no, I'm just taking a walk. And I was like, thank you. But it was quite hot. So
like we said, now not everybody is bad.
There are quite a few that are actually there because they want to be police officers, and it's amazing to see. Those ones their kudos are not given to them. And I also admire them for also taking a back seat and knowing that when we complain, we are not complaining because of the good people. We are complaining because there is a whole lot of bad eggs. That's all. But shout out to the good officers. We love you. We thank you. Both the past, the present, the retired, the ones that have passed away, the ones that are still with us.
That's something you're not telling me.
No. This conversation has just opened my eyes to a lot of things. Even what Pato said as well. It has touched me. It's easy to talk from the outside. But we all have a part to play. I'm not exonerating anybody of the guilt. We all have. Even NSAS pointed that out, that we're fighting for your welfare too. We want you to be better. We want you to feel better. So we can all be better as well.
Everything she said and much more. Thank you so much for joining us today. Let's make the day tomorrow here on Perspectives, and do not change that dial. There's a way to say, just
don't
leave
touch
it.
That
don't
dial.
touch that dial. Have yourselves an amazing rest of the day. And Mena, you are awesomest.
Thank you, Raya, for always being there for me too.
DJ KY's George. Get it.
Yeah.